go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. I'm your host, the Commish, here at Masters Fantasy Leagues, joined by two of my co-hosts, friends of mine, and guys I really respect in this fantasy industry, the Doc, Evan. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
How's it going?
Excellent.
Real
Football's
good,
back.
man. Yeah, real good. Ready to talk some Dynasty football. We're taking a look at the wide receiver position today, heading into week 4, looking for some Dynasty wide receiver targets. You guys are going out and actively trying to get on your rosters right now. Right before we jump into it, also stick around to the end of the show. I got some over-under questions for these guys. I think just a couple, but I got some really good ones for this week. I think they're really interesting. Can't wait to hear what you got to say. Let's jump right into it, though. Kick it over to whichever you guys want to go first with your Dynasty wide receiver targets.
All right. So I'll go first. My first guy I got is Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. We all kind of expected a big breakout season for him, kind of work his way into that top 2 round territory, and it hasn't really been that yet. Fitzpatrick goes down in week 1. He did have that one game with 14 targets, 11 catches. That was a bigger one, obviously. But besides that, he's had, 2 games that were basically the same, 10.2 points. The targets are there, but I mean, it's ugly right now in Washington. Quarterback spot looking shaky, and I just don't really see him breaking out, especially with Curtis Samuel coming back into the fold soon. So for me, I think McLaurin's a guy I want to go out and trade for because, I mean, he's not necessarily hitting his value thus far. And I think anybody with any kind of foresight can see that he's probably not going to have the year you expected him to, just because of the way the season is shook out, at quarterback too for him. And I think he's a guy that long-term will get into that upper echelon. I think it's just a matter of his quarterback staying healthy or, basically just that, his quarterback staying healthy or being good enough to get him the ball. So I like McLaurin long-term, and even though he won't be, what you expected, I think it's a guy you should go out and at least put some feelers out, try to trade for him, because again, he's a guy that owners are probably a little, don't like this start from him, and they're panicking a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. That Washington offense or defense, nothing firing on all cylinders currently. And I actually, for me, it's Curtis Samuel. I mean, you mentioned him. I think he's a guy, I mean, at this point, you might be able to get as a toss in.
Right.
I said it before the season started. I thought I wouldn't have been surprised had those two, been really close in scoring. I mean, I don't think so now. Obviously, Samuel hasn't played, but I think he's a guy you can probably get for next to nothing with 80 reception, possibility in his future.
Absolutely.
So, all right, kick it over to you, Evan. Who's your first wide receiver?
First guy I got, I think this is probably going to be the last time you can really trade for him at a reasonable price, and that's DJ Moore. I am a huge believer in DJ Moore after what I've seen so far this season. The price might be a little high, higher than it was, I should say, but I think that's only going to go up. I think DJ Moore has top 5 wide receiver potential with Sam Darnold. I just think, I think we all saw it his rookie year, his big play ability, his ability to get open and just like to be awesome, to run awesome routes and just be great after the catch as well. And he was a little disappointing last year, but I think this year he's really showing us what he's capable of. And like I said, I think right now is really the only chance you're going to be able to put him in a deal that's a reasonable price for yourself. He's averaging like over 10 targets a game. He's got almost 300 yards. And if you watched that Thursday night game last week, you just saw that's the guy. That is the guy in Carolina. I think that's going to be the guy in Carolina for years to come. And I think right now is the time to go get DJ Moore, even if you have to pay a little bit more than you're willing to. I'm a very big believer in DJ Moore. And yeah, that's what I got on him.
So I got to ask, man, does that mean that you're also buying into Sam Darnold?
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily buying into Sam Darnold. I think Darnold's a guy that if he's available on your waiver wire, that's somebody that you can pick up. I'm not necessarily going to go out and trade for Sam Darnold just because I don't know if the touchdowns from the quarterback perspective will always be there, but I think the receptions and targets will always be there on DJ Moore's side.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, good stuff. I'll pass it over to you, Doc. Your last wide receiver you're targeting in Dynasty.
Yes. So my last wide receiver isn't really a wide receiver. It's tight end Kyle Pitts. I feel like he's enough of a receiver that I can toss him into this category, but I feel like this is another one. I keep saying, find the guys that panic. I mean, it's worth seeing if the guy in your league that owns Kyle Pitts panics a little bit. I know I've seen Kyle Pitts. He got traded in one of our leagues relatively recently, like already. I don't necessarily think that's panic, but I mean, hey, he hasn't done what we expected. He hasn't lit the world on fire. Atlanta just looks really shaky overall, but I think, again, the targets seem to be there. He's right behind Calvin Ridley in terms of like who's being looked at in that offense. So I like his opportunities going forward. I think, again, it's just a matter of time before he catches a touchdown and actually starts putting together some big games. I mean, and again, he's a rookie too, so he's still developing that chemistry with Matt Ryan. So again, I mean, we know him as this guy that's going to be a generational talent. I still am that confident in him. So I'm going to go out there and put some feelers out, see if I can get Pitts, because I mean, again, this is probably as cheap as he'll ever be. He's on a little bit of a dip now, and around here we buy the dips. So
yes, sir.
I'm going and getting Kyle Pitts for sure.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, man, in some of these trades, I mean, there's definitely some panic involved with Kyle Pitts, which is shocking. I mean, some of these guys, I literally just watched you fight to get the one pick to take Kyle Pitts, and give up quite a bit in some cases. I mean, a couple weeks into the season, it's like, he's not the real deal. Ship him out. Way too early, man. And not like that. I mean, Matt Ryan's looked terrible. Like, I mean, Atlanta's looked terrible to me. I mean, I at least want to see like one game when Matt Ryan's got it going on, that offense has it going on, and then see what Kyle Pitts can do, because you can't put it all on this rookie. Like, I mean,
exactly.
I feel like, Calvin Ridley hasn't looked great. Matt Ryan hasn't looked great. There was never a scenario where you could come out and say, here, Kyle Pitts, lead the offense.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
He's a rookie, man. I mean, them guys need to step up, let him find his, and then eventually he can be a guy that leads the offense. So I just think way too early to panic. I'm with you. All right, kick it over to you, Evan. Your last guy, wide receiver, pass catcher.
So I actually switched this up from what I originally had when I was thinking about this question, but I think the doc inspired me a little bit to do some research. I'm buying into George Kittle right now.
Ooh.
I think right now he, I was a little sour on him, and the doc had to talk some sense into me a while back, a couple weeks ago, but I just think his production doesn't really match his potential right now. I think people might be looking at other tight end options. Kittle isn't what he was, how many years ago, a couple years ago when he wasn't injured. But I think right now is a great time to buy in on George Kittle. I think the pass catching situation in San Fran's a little iffy right now. We don't really know what's going on with Ayuk. Debo's obviously look great, but I think there is room for Kittle to regain his spot in that offense and to really start putting together a few performances here. So right now I'm buying Kittle, especially because he's somebody that can fill that tight end spot that always seems to be elusive outside top three. So Kittle it is for me. I think you have a chance to snag him. He's still young. He's not an old guy. He's not an old tight end. So I think Kittle's somebody I'm going to be looking to get. Again, that's somebody the doc has in my league, so it's going to be tough, but I think for all of you out there that have a chance to go get somebody like Kittle, especially if the person if the team you're trying to trade with has another comparable tight end on their team, I think you just go, hey, let me get George Kittle, see what they get for you. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and let's be honest, man, a couple of weeks ago, it was almost impossible to get one of these tight ends. I mean, we're all of us, man, got 2-3 tight ends rostered. I'm spending 40, 50 blind bidding bucks this week on Dalton Schultz. Crossing my fingers.
I threw like 80 down on Tremble.
Tremble.
I knew one of you guys would try to bid me up, so I had to put a big bid in.
Of course. So I mean, but that does make me think, man. Both these guys, Pitts, Kittle, got off the slow starts. I mean, if all of a sudden they're available, go get them, man. This is a position that it's so nice when you got Kittle, Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, one of these guys on your roster. Like when you're going down your lineup, sitting your lineup, you get to tight end, you see one of them guys. It's almost like, a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Thank God I could just click on Kittle. And I think that's going to be for like the next 5-10 years. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I don't see 12-10 tight ends coming in from college the next 2 years that we're going to be able to use. Like,
Right.
so I'm just
Yeah.
saying I think the position's pretty safe to say it's probably still going to be thin for the next 5 years at least, or something like that.
Yeah, I would think so.
Right. All right, guys, I'm going to switch over here to the over-under portion of the show. I've been dying to ask you guys some of these questions today, and I want to start off with the first one. And I think what a game we have this weekend coming up. Here's the question. Tom Brady currently averaging 30 points a game this year. I think it's just slightly over 30 points a game. In his return to New England, over under Tom Brady 30 points this week.
That's tough.
That's why I couldn't wait to ask you guys. Man.
I think
That's
it's
like-
under, but barely.
Mm.
I'm putting them at like 24, something around there, just because, I think you have both sides of it. You have Tom Brady coming back to Foxborough. You want to see what he wants to obviously prove that they got the worst end of the trade by they got the worst end of the deal by letting him go. But Belichick, I think on the other side's like, I can't let Tom Brady come into my house and hit 40 on my head. So, I mean, Patriots got a good defense. I don't think he gets to 30.
All right, and I'm gonna keep track of these next week. Give me the over, man. Tom Brady might put up 40 this week. Yeah, Bill may want to stop him. They do not have the horses to stop Tom Brady this week, dude. He's gonna put a show on. Listen, I'm gonna record the game. I'm gonna watch it, record it, watch it again. That's how excited I am for this game. Which brings me to the next over under. Same game. You taking Gronk this week in points, or I'll give you the whole rest of the tight end field.
I think Gronk. That I am confident. I am confident Brady's going to try and force him a touchdown.
So Gronk or the field?
I'm taking the field. I'm taking the field on that. Yeah,
I'm with you, Doc. Give me Gronk.
I think Gronk
Brady
gets 2
won,
touchdowns.
Gronk won.
Gronk's a little banged up. That's my only reason.
That's true. He might not even play, but if he does, 2 touchdowns for Gronk.
I feel like Gronk would be like, "Hey, take the rib out. Just take it out this week.
Yeah,
I got to get on the field, man." All right, But just for the record, give me Gronk versus the field. 2 more quick ones, guys. Najee Harris, man, an astounding 19 targets this week. Still kind of scratching my head about that. When you guys text me that, I had to go double check it. Like, what? So that banged up Pittsburgh offense. My question this week: over under 10 targets for Najee Harris.
Over.
Yeah,
I'm going
that one again too, for sure.
Everybody
Absolutely.
over? Yeah, me over too. I don't know if he'll hit 19, but man, I'm thinking 15 targets again this week.
Yeah, that's their run game. Is just check down to him. They have to.
Right. All right. And then here's the last one. Cooper Kupp, man. A little over 30 points a game currently. I mean, and I'm pretty sure that's on pace for the best wide receiving season ever if he kept that up. Man, kind of a juicy matchup this week with Arizona. Does he keep it up, man? Cooper Kupp over under, I'm going to say 30 again, man.
Ooh. I think I think again, similar to Brady, I think it'll be slightly under. I think we're still going to get mid to high 20s out of Cooper Kupp though.
Yeah, I agree. I think he keeps up the good performance. I don't know if he gets to 30. I think that's going to be based on if he can get in the end zone or not. But I just see, I think that game's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think even though the Rams have a good passing defense, I think that game's going to be a high scoring game. So, I wouldn't be shocked if he got over 30, but I just think he, like Doc said, 20 to 25 range. That's what I'll put him at.
And you know what? I think I'm with you guys. It's going to be tough for him to hit 30, but I'm with, man. I think that game's going to be a shootout, man. One more time, man. Cooper Kupp over 30. He does it again this week.
Love it. Love it.
All right, I'll take that.
Hey.
You know what? I'm flipping. I'm on board over.
He's
Cooper
going
Kupp,
to do
baby.
it.
He's
again.
going.
All right, guys, and I'm keeping score. We'll find out next week, see who came out in the lead. As always, man, thanks so much for hopping on here with me. You guys at home, if you could, hit the like and subscribe button. Come be a part of the Masters family. Love to have you. Any last words, guys?
No, thanks for watching.
All right, good stuff.
See you next time.
Enjoy the game. See you next time.